The terrifying footage from the highway near Kyiv, as reported, was filmed on March 30, 2022, on the very same day when, after negotiations in Istanbul, Russian troops were leaving from the Kyiv region. There were no point to attacking them, however they were attacked. The captured soldiers were brutally killed. The dying soldiers, abandoned on the road, were shot.
Look, he's still alive.
These monsters, reveling in their own impunity, are not embarrassed by the fact that the tight hands of one of Russian soldiers got captured on camera, which confirms that these are not the consequences of the battle. This is a massacre of unarmed, incapable of defending captives. This is a heroism from militants' point of view.
Glory to Ukraine! Glory to the heroes!
This hero of not a Ukrainian appearance is a militant of the so-called Georgian Legion, which has been operating in Ukraine for 8 years now. His identity has been established in Telegram channels. They say this is a Dzimurat Schizanishvili. He was seen in audios Mikhail Saakashvili's inner circle. Now he lives in Ukraine. But this shot itself, tied hands with a white bandage on the sleeve, brings us back to the other events in the Kyiv region. The town of Bucha, whose inhabitants became victims of the same senseless and brutal massacre. The West and Ukraine indiscriminately accuse Russian military, without mentioning that the footage with the bodies of killed civilians appeared 4 days after the withdrawal of Russian troops. March 30, departure of Russian troops from Bucha. April 2nd, footage of atrocities. And between these two dates, an event which the Western media doesn't talk about, the cleaning of the city by the forces of the so-called Ukrainian Territorial Defense Units, which in fact are the gangs armed by the Kyiv regime. The head of one of them, the neo-Nazi Botsman, who fled from Russian law enforcement agencies to Ukraine, even posted a video on the internet where the militants give carte blanche to shoot at anyone who is not wearing a Ukrainian blue armband.
Look, there are boys without blue armbands. Can I shoot at them? Fucking for sure.
The blue armband used in Ukrainian army, the white one in the Russian one. While Russian troops were in Bucha, many local citizens wore a Russian identifier as a signal: do not shoot civilians. On the video, as of April 2nd, there were quite a few among the killed people who did not remove this identifier on time after the departure of the Russian troops. The body of one of the deceased with the white bandage get carried past Gerashenko, advisor of the head of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine, right when he was recording one of his video messages. Apparently, the advisor did not even realize that he himself was undermining the version of Russian soldiers' guiltiness. Further, until April 2nd, no one, neither the Russian military who entered Bucha, nor the townspeople in local chats, nor the mayor even mentioned dozens of bodies of civilians lying on the streets.
The mayor of Bucha called the withdrawal of Russian troops a victory for the Ukrainian army in his video message on March 21st. It is curious that he didn't mention any mass atrocities or the bodies of the killed ones, burials, anything like that at all. It is hard to imagine that the mayor of the town get about it. He looks happy and smiles. It is hard to imagine that all this happens after a street massacre.
To convey the Russian position to journalists in the United Nations, Vasily Nebenzia had to hold a press conference. Britain, which presides over the United Nations Security Council, has twice refused Russia's request to convene an emergency meeting of the Security Council on the events in Bucha. According to Russian permanent representative to the United Nations, this had never happened before.
It is unprecedented, unbelievable, unthinkable that we were denied to convening of the Security Council.
Although, at the risk of serious consequences on international security issues, Western delegation quite recently successfully convened Security Council meetings on the inaccessibility of education for women in Afghanistan. So you can see for yourself what their priorities are. It is not beneficial for Western countries if Russia convenes the Security Council, as this could destroy the anti-Russian agenda that they are promoting. They use the same tactics of information warfare against Russia, which were used in Syria. No matter what crime the militants committed, no matter what fake staging the White Helmets set up, Damascus was blamed for everything. Or, in the case of Ukraine, Moscow. But there, in Syria, Russians have learned to resist these tactics, calmly and consistently, with facts which sooner or later leave no room for falsification.